Learning to Nishmas Etta Ahuva by Bechoros Bechoros Perek Dala Mishna Yomi. Hanoitel schare lodon dinav betelev. Someone takes schar in order to paskin. His psak is batal, and the Taisyanta brings from the Ran in Kedushin. The lashon dinav, lashon rabbim, is that even though he only took schar on this din, all his dinim are betelim. And the same thing in the next case also. Lehayed, if someone takes schar to say edis, edusa betelim, all his edis are batal. The Gemara says, Minani mili, how do you know this? That you're not allowed to take payment for psak or for Talmud Torah. Pasuk says, Re'ei lamadati eschem, Moshe Rabbeinu says, Ma'ani bechinam afato bechinam. We'll just skip to the last line in the Mishnah. The Mishnah does end off, and noisin leischari kipoyel. And the Gemara explains, kipoyel batal she'oisem malachos. So if he had a job that he used to make a lot of money with very little tircha, and now instead of that, he's losing that job and he's paskening a psak, so you would pay him the difference that a person would take in order to do this instead for that day. So the Gemara in Ksuvas and Daf Kuf Heyam and Aleph, and Taisus brings this down over here, points out that there's different categories. If you're taking Agar Dina, that's when the Mishnah says that's Dina Betela. But if you're taking, for example, Agar Betela, and it's Muchach, that it's just the Schar Betelos, and then that's also the end of our Mishnah, then that is Mutter. In Sham, there's a case of Agar Betela, the Loy Muchach. The Rav over here brings down that Barabone Ashkenaz Reisi, that people were taking money to be Mesader Gittin, and the Rav holds that it's the wrong thing because of what our Mishnah says. In Hilchas Gittin, in the back, at the end of Hilchas Gittin, it says there's a Seder Haget over there, and then there in Sif Dalet it says, "V'Ravadja Pirish Hamishram Perik Dalet Bechoros." It brings down this Rav, Kara Tagar Rabbanim Misadje Haget Hanoitlim Yosem Mechtei Schar Betela, that the Rabbanim were taking more than Schar Betela, and the Ramah over there says, he argues on the Rav. He says, "It's not the same thing." He says, "Sider haget ein din el limud ba'alma," and therefore he holds that they were allowed to take money. The Taisus Yantav brings down this Ramah, and he also brings a Kesef Mishnah, which I think we spoke out in Maseches Avos in Perek Daled, that the Kesef Mishnah over there says that Komokim shaloch refefetz biyadcha halachacha minag, and we see that all Chachmei Yisrael were took schar from the tzibur, and he says it's a gather of Eis Lasas Hashem Hefirus Eresecha, because if people wouldn't take money and they wouldn't learn Torah, and the Torah would be chas v'shol mishtakeches from Klal Yisrael, and therefore he says that you are allowed to take money to learn. The Mishnah continues, Lahaza is lekadesh. If someone took money in order to do the hazah, a kohen took money to do the hazah of the meichatas on a tamei meis, or to be mekadesh, meaning, which is the step before, mixing the efer chatas with the mayim. Meimov meima'ara, it's not mayim chayim anymore, it's like water of a cave. Afre efer makla, it's no longer efer of the chatas, it's rather ashes from your oven only, because the kohen is not allowed to take money from this. And the Gemara asks over here and in Kedushin that there's a brisa that says that they could take money, and the Gemara answers that that's talking about the schar hava umile, only bringing the water and filling it up, and the actual sprinkling and the mixing of the mechatas had to be done without any schar. Imhaya kohen, let's say the person that's donning the din or the aid, or he's seeing the Bechoros, he's a kohen, and the only way for him to get here is to pass through a makom tumah, which the Gemara explains. What do you mean? A kohen is not allowed to be metama, that's a lav, leisatama lenefesh. The Gemara says two tirutzim, either it's a base pras derabanan, which is mutar alidei nefuach, or it's talking about other tumas like tumas sheretz, where there's no iser the kohen to become metame. But al kopanim, he's losing out by becoming tameh. So then that much you could reimburse him for that. Now you can't eat truma anymore. He's going to have to eat chulin, which is more expensive. So machilo, mashkei, v'sachai, you could feed him and you could drink him and smear him with non-truma items, and that is just reimbursement. So that's why it's mutter. Huadim hayazakin, if he's old, markiva al chamar, he can't walk, you could pay for his car ride over. And all this doesn't go b'chal noitel schar ladan. And the last words in the Mishnah we already explains that noitel loy schar kapoil, that he could get money like a poil batal. Mishnah zayin hachashed ala bechoros, someone who's chashed on putting a mum in a bechar shaloi kedin. So ein loichem imeno basar tzabam. You're not allowed to buy from such a butcher even deer meat. Why? The dini bechar only by a behema, not by a chaya. The Gemara says the michlef b'da'agala because it's red and it looks like cow meat. So we're choshet that really it's cow meat that was a bechar. The Mishnah also says ein loichem imen v'loy orish eina abudim. You can't buy from him hides that were not worked out. Again, because we're choshet from a bechar. The Gemara is medayik, but if it's hides that were worked, then you are allowed to buy. Why? Because if it was really a bechar that he made a mumin shaloi kedin, he wouldn't take such a chance that the chamin maybe someone saw and they're going to come and aser it. He wouldn't work so much tircha to make the iris abudim. So therefore, there's no chash that it's from a bechar that wasn't a balmum. Rabbi Eliezer loichim imenu iris shel nekeva, because that's obviously not from a bechar. What did the Tanakama hold? So the Gemara said that the Tanakama holds that even though you could technically tell the difference between a zachar and a kevi, he's going to say that mice made it look like this, and therefore we're chayshish that really it is a zachar. The last halacha is on al derech the same thing. You can't buy from him wool that was made white, because even though that's a tircha, it's a tircha zuta. But if it's already spun and it's made into begadim, meaning begadim that don't require spinning, the Gemara says, so like felt. So since that was a tircha meruba, same thing by uris abudim, where we said that he wouldn't be matriach on the tzad that he's going to have to lose out at the end. So over here, he wouldn't have been matriach to spin it if at the end he may get caught, and therefore obviously there's no chash that it's from a bechar that wasn't a balmum.